Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 21. I think I got it right. Who knows? And yeah, we are off the back of a crazy episode, in my opinion. We made history with, I believe, AEW's first man versus woman match, in which women won. And we also had our 90 rated MJF Rami Sabai match, which I'm still not over, if I'm being honest. And I don't think we can top it. But either way, we're here. We're closing in on All Out very slowly. We've got week 2, week 3, week 4, September week 1, and we are there for our season finale. So 4 or 5 episodes from now, and it's our season finale, which is very exciting. And some of the matches are slowly starting to be built and packed out. So yeah. Let's just dive straight into the episode and take a look at our backstage incidents for Dynamite. And it's between Jerry Lynn and Chris Jericho. So Jerry Lynn was brought before the wrestler's court. So I assume Chris Jericho is the judge of Dynamite, seeing as those stings on Collision. He was accused of being absorbed by his phone when he should have been paying attention in a meeting. Bloody hell, Chris. The judge, Chris Jericho, found him guilty and sentenced him to buy a crate of beer for the locker room. Alright. Had a positive impact on Jerry Lynn though. Nice. That's the only backstage incident. Let's dive straight into AEW Dynamite. Okay, and here we are with our first opening pre-show segment, which is announcing that Takeshita is now fit. So he will be defending his title against Lance Archer, who won the contendership battle royale at Battle of the Belts a few weeks back. So Lance Archer finally getting his match, and he's built some pretty decent momentum, to be fair. So let's see how that one goes later on tonight. But first, a few pre-show matches. And in our first match, we've got Yuka Sakazaki facing her mentor, Emi Sakura. And in a bout that had decent wrestling but little heat, Yuka Sakazaki defeats Emi Sakura in 8:34 with a magical girl kick. This got a 55, nice. And Yuka Sakazaki had a rating of 59 and Emi Sakura with a 42. Pretty good. Can't complain. And the next pre-show match is Blake Christian and Dralistico. A nice high-flying match for you all. 53 rated, not the best. Blake Christian with a 53. He seems to just float around the 50s now, so I don't think we're going to see any more growth like we did earlier in the series. But that doesn't mean we give up on people, unless it's Adam Cole. Dralistico with 49, fair enough. I think this is our final pre-show segment, and we head straight into our main show. We do, and it is an 80 rating. Woohoo! In a great wrestling match with a decent reaction from the crowd, Takeshita defends his title and he defeats Lance Archer in 14:02 with the Wall of Takeshita. This is defense number 3 for his TNT title. Man needs to start defending more, let's be honest, because he's had that belt for a while and hasn't really shown face much. But yeah, 80 rating match. I did not think it would get this good. Lance Archer with a 70. Man just impresses me every time I see him, and Takeshita with a 75. So yeah, awesome opening match and got up to a strong start. Yeah, Takeshita defeats Archer. I mean, I thought that Archer would easily have this, but maybe not. Following this segment, Tony Schiavone comes out and congratulates Takeshita on his win and makes a special announcement for All Out. So Tony Khan has been thinking and planning on All Out and believes that the TNT title needs to be defended more often. So he's rounded up a bunch of candidates who have either been in great form, are workhorses of AEW, or just, great performers and representatives of AEW. And he's announced that they're all going to be thrown into a special 6-way ladder match at All Out. So it will be Takeshita defending his title against Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Cedric Alexander, Miro, Zack Sabre Jr., and Bandido, who is in a match later on tonight against MJF. Remember, if he wins, Adam Page gets his title shot. So this is a confirmed, booked-in, locked-in match for AEW All Out. These 6 men facing off in a ladder match for the AEW TNT Championship. That is going to be one hell of a spicy match. Let me know who your money's on. Following this, though, we head straight into a tag team match with 2 of the entrants Cedric Alexander and Jack Perry. And in a decent match, they win. They defeat the Von Erichs in 11 minutes when Cedric Alexander gets the win with an overtime. Jack Perry was head and shoulders above everyone else. Cedric not doing as well as I'd hope, but he's still pretty new to AEW, so he's still finding his feet. But Jungle Boy Jack Perry, he's an OG, so he knows what he's doing. 61 overall, not bad, and it got the crowd buzzing apparently. Fair enough. Let's move on. We head backstage, which is a little interview promo with Bandido and Adam Page, or Dash is just asking how they're feeling about tonight. And Bandido is very confident about tonight. He says that he can beat MJF and he will get his amigo a title shot. And Adam Page, who's kind of been on the fence, I'd say a little bit, because he's very much like a lone wolf. He kind of wants to do his own thing, separated from the elite. But I think he's warming up to Bandido, and he just says, whatever happens, Bandido, I just want to thank you, and you are my amigo. And that melts Bandido's little heart, being called an amigo by Adam Page. 81, awesome. Adam Page is golden on the mic, so we're going to keep doing that. Following this, though, we head to the ring, where Christian Cage is doing his latest FTW World Title Challenge. So anyone can come out and challenge Luchasaurus. And who is it this week? Stu Grayson of the Dark Order, someone we have not seen in a while, and for good reason. That is a shit performance. So in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but terrible wrestling, Luchasaurus pretty convincingly defeats Stu Grayson in 11:24 by pinfall with the Betrayal. So once again, Christian Cage does not need to fight because no one can get past Luchasaurus. Moving on, we've got our Beat the Clock match. If we remember, I've got it written down here, 5:41 is the time to beat, and Tay Melo is facing off against Toni Storm. Can she do it? So in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Toni Storm defeats Tay Melo in 7 minutes. So that is the second fastest time. So Toni Storm does not advance to All Out. It's Athena that will be at All Out. But there's a little bit of drama here because Tay Melo was so close to getting the win, and she, according to the referee, intentionally got disqualified because Paige VanZant ran in and attacked Storm. So just as we were hitting the cusp of that time limit, VanZant ran in, attacked Storm, beat her down. The referee caught it and called the match. So VanZant costing Tay Melo an opportunity at the Women's World Championship, and in turn also Toni Storm, who is nursing a slight injury, it seems. So those were the Beat the Clock challenge matches. That means Athena is going on to All Out to face Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. Sammy Guevara did some good work at ringside, 49 rating, and post-match, Tay Melo just loses her shit. She goes straight for Paige VanZant, and they just start brawling and fighting and kicking each other and pulling hair and real stiff shots to the face. And Sammy and Chris are doing their best to try and separate them, but they're just struggling. Security have to come in and they pull Tay Melo and Paige VanZant apart, and it seems like this is a real heated fight between Tay Melo and Paige VanZant. They are they're despising each other right now. And Sammy and Chris are kind of just, former JAS members here. They're just kind of caught in the middle of this real beef between Tay Melo and Paige VanZant. 56 rating. Not bad. We'll take that. Let's move on if we can. And then we head backstage to MJF, who does have a match tonight. He's had quite a few matches, back to back recently. And he kind of just scoffs at tonight. He's like, Renee, it's Bandido. He's not going to do anything. I'm the greatest wrestler in the world. Adam Page doesn't deserve a title shot, and I'm going to make sure that he doesn't get it tonight. So, seems like he's very much convinced that Bandido's not going to cause him any issues. Let's continue with the show. And we've got a small backstage segment with Zack Sabre Jr. and the rest of the Combat Club, and just saying that it was a no-brainer that Zack Sabre Jr. would choose the Combat Club over Bryan Danielson. They're just a legit team. They're a team of fighters, technicians, brawlers. Like, they're the perfect package, and all they were missing was a little Zack Sabre Jr. shaped hole that he has filled very nicely. And just kind of shitting on Bryan Danielson for a bit, and just flexing themselves, I guess. 87 rated though. Wow, I'll take that. Oh, and let's just address this. Bryan Danielson is turning face. And it was a complete success. Woo! Moving on. We've got 3 members of the Combat Club in action against kind of a squash match. We brought up 3 guys that I've currently got in my developmental. Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and Titus Alexander. So in a decent match, the Combat Club defeat these 3 guys in 9 minutes when Zack Sabre Jr. makes Titus Alexander submit. And Zack Sabre Jr. was head and shoulders above everyone else. But Wheeler Yuta has broken his fingers somehow. ZSJ with a 78. Wheeler and Claudio late 60s. Darius Martin with a 60 as well. That's not bad. And then Titus and Andretti in the 40s. These 3 going straight back down to Ring of Honor after this, just to hide them for a one-night deal. Zack Sabre Jr. looking stellar out there, which, if anything, is a great thing because he's got his TNT Championship match at All Out already booked in. He's been here, what, a couple of weeks? He's already got a big title match. 65 rated. We'll take it. I believe it's just the main event now. Cool, we don't care about the broken fingers. It is. Here we go. And in a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat, Bandido defeats Maxwell Jacob Friedman with a fast roll-up because during the match, Adam Page distracted MJF. So slightly heelish tactics, you'd say. Bandido gets the win with a 69 performance and MJF with a 93. 76 overall. This means that Adam Page gets his rematch and he will face MJF, I would assume, at All Out. So let's book that in. Let's put it in the ink. MJF, Hangman Adam Page, All Out for the AEW World Championship. MJF is obviously beside himself. A fast roll-up, like, that's something that he'd do. But, you know, what goes around comes around, I guess. And that ends our show. So let's see how we did. 78. Nice. I will take that. So, yeah, a few things happening. We've got the TNT title match announced, the 6-way ladder match. Then we saw 2 of them in action, well, 3 of them technically in action tonight. Melo couldn't get the win thanks to Paige VanZant's involvement, which led to a vicious brawl between the 2 of them, meaning that Athena will be facing Hikaru Shida at AEW All Out. So that's another match booked in. And Bandido got the win somehow on MJF, meaning Adam Page gets his title match. So let's just say that's 3 match announcements tonight. Awesome. You know, we're getting the ball rolling. All Out is going to be stacked. Like, scarily stacked, just so you know. But yeah, we're done with Dynamite. Great show. Let's jump over to Collision and see what's happening there, because this will be the fallout of the New Wave defeating the Elite, thanks to Mercedes Moné. I'll catch you over there now. Okay, and we are back for Collision. No backstage incidents, so we are straight into the pre-show with Samantha DeMartin getting a win on Sawyer Wreck in 8 minutes and 5 seconds with the big boot. Samantha DeMartin with a 46, not bad. Sawyer Wreck 37. We don't really care about her, let's be honest. 45 overall, not bad. One more pre-show match, nice and simple, and it is a tag team match where the Guns defeat the Kingdom in 12 minutes when Austin Gunn pins Mike Bennett. Austin. Yes, got it right. I know my Austins and my Coltons. Austin and Colton Gunn, though, underperforming in the mid-40s with Mike and Matt doing better in the late 50s. But that ends our pre-show. See? Super quick, super easy. That's how they all should be. And we're heading straight into the main show where, of course, the New Wave open after their huge win, their historic win, let's be honest, against the Elite. And Daniel Garcia, Mercedes Moné, Ricky Starks, Swerve Strickland in the ring, gassing each other up. And Mercedes Moné politely reminds Daniel Garcia, hey, you know, while we're on a high and nothing can stop us, don't you have that world title shot to cash in? And Garcia goes, yeah, you're right. Fuck it, I'll do it now. MJF, me, you, next week. So Daniel Garcia has cashed in a mere, 3 weeks before All Out? 3 weeks before the deadline. Daniel Garcia cashes in his world title opportunity against MJF. MJF he's just non-stop, isn't he? Just match after match after match. This isn't like MJF, but He's got no choice. That is the contract that is agreed when Daniel Garcia won. So next week it's going to be Daniel Garcia facing MJF for the AEW World title. MJF has no say in it. It's official. So yeah, that is going to be one hell of a match, and I'm sure there's going to be some involvement. But after this segment, we head straight into our opening match, which is Samoa Joe's debut in our save. And in a decent match, he defeats Ethan Page in 5 minutes by submission, just completely destroying Ethan Page. Samoa Joe got a 61, fair enough, and Ethan Page with a 49. And Stokely Hathaway being great at ringside. I imagine he was shit scared of Samoa Joe. But a very dominant display there from Samoa Joe. Hasn't even broken a sweat. He grabs the mic post-match, kind of kicks Ethan Page out of the ring, and he just spends a little bit of time with us just to explain his actions. Not that he needs to, but just explaining why he targeted Rami and no one else. And in a nutshell, he basically says he's sick of people jumping from another wrestling promotion, coming here and just expecting that they can be at the top of the card instantly. He said it doesn't work that way. You have to earn it. He said, I made a name for myself in shows like TNA, Ring of Honor, and I got the chance in said promotion. I came back, and I didn't come back in at the top. I wasn't having world title matches. I came in with respect, and I worked my ass off, and that's why I became Ring of Honor TV champion, blah, 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 TNT champion here prior, and he just needs to learn the lesson the hard way. And what better way than to get a beat down from Samoa Joe? So yeah, kind of slightly selfish actions. Maybe I think there's a little bit of jealousy here from Samoa Joe towards Rami Sabai, because he did kind of get thrusted in that world title picture, and let's be honest, he gave us a 90 rated match, so deservedly so maybe. But Joe's not happy about that, and I can't imagine the beatings have stopped. So Rami better watch his back, and also I imagine Joe should probably watch his, because you never know what Rami Sabai is going to do. But yeah, that ends this angle, and we move on to some singles action. We've got a few back-to-back matches coming up, no angles, so just sit back and enjoy the wrestling. First match, Thunder Rosa defeats Ruby Soho in 7:52 with La Rosa, and Thunder Rosa gets a 58, Ruby Soho with a 50. Nice to see Thunder Rosa getting a win, 59 overall, not bad, not the best, but we'll take it. Following this, Kenny Omega is in singles action, and I think he just wants to let off a little bit of steam. So in a pretty short match for Kenny Omega, he likes to long them out a little bit. 80 rated too, whoa. Great wrestling and good heat. Kenny Omega completely decimates Pac. Poor Pac. I mean, he's not someone that can get owned easily, but Omega is just lost. Like, his mind is everywhere. He's fuming over his loss, or the Elite's loss to the New Wave, and he just kicks the living life out of Pac. One Winged Angel, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, he's not done here. He's very, very upset. Just a quick reminder, our main event match tonight is the final qualification for the AEW World Tag Team title. So we've already got the Lucha Brothers, Andrade and Rush, and FTR. We need one more team in that All Out match, and it's between the Young Bucks, Ricky Starks and Swerve Strickland of the New Wave, and best friends Chucky T and Trent Beretta. So that is our main event to look forward to tonight. You can see that Omega's let off some steam. I'm pretty sure the Bucks are going to want to do the same. So following this, we've got more singles action. It's Keith Lee taking on Roderick Strong, and in a pretty fair contest, but with Keith Lee overcoming, he defeats Roderick Strong with the Spirit Bomb. Post-match, Jay White and the rest of the Bullet Club are there congratulating Keith Lee. When we hear some familiar music, of course it is CM Punk, furious that Jay White cost him and Jordan Omos a tag title opportunity, because Punk, again, he's just looking for, you know, that purpose, and he thought the tag belts was going to be the purpose that he's got right now. And he just grabs the mic and just says, Jay White, Bullet Club Gold, you have all made an enemy out of me. And that is a big, big mistake. And obviously made an enemy out of Jordan Omos as well. 81 rated segment, pretty good. Jay White though, the smirk hasn't left his face. I don't think he cares that much because he grabs a mic and says, Punk, I know exactly what I'm doing. You've lost your way, and Bullet Club Gold are here to help you find that purpose. What that means, who knows? Slightly cryptic from Jay White, but I'm sure we'll find out in the coming weeks. But it seems like there's a bit of heat between Punk and Jay White right now, so I wonder what that's going to result in. I mean, you know, take a wild guess. But yeah, Bullet Club Gold, Punk and Omos, tensions are high. 76 rated segment, very good. Great work from Jay White. Following this though, we've got some normal singles action again. Got a lot of single matches tonight. Adam Cole taking on Orange Cassidy. And in a good match, Orange Cassidy gets the win on Adam Cole. Cassidy's kind of been a little bit non-existent since dropping his international title to Jay White, and Adam Cole is just Adam Cole, let's be honest. Yeah. So 11:15, Orange Punch, boom. Orange Cassidy gets the win. And this got the crowd buzzing, apparently. Everyone was loving this. 67, we will take that. Heading backstage now. And we've got a little interview with MJF, who is just beside himself. He's tired. He hasn't wrestled this much in a long time. He just says, I can't seem to catch a break. Rami Sabai, so I defended my title at Battle of the Belts. Then Rami Sabai gets his rematch. Then I have to face Bandito. Now Daniel Garcia and the New Wave, whoever the fuck they are. Like, I now have to defend against them. And then in a few weeks time, I've got All Out against Adam Page. Like, what is this? And Renee, I think she does it on purpose, gives a little nod being like, well, MJF, if you lose to Daniel Garcia next week, you might not have you won't have a title match at All Out, so at least you can take a break then. And MJF just kind of stares her down and just smacks the microphone out of her hand and walks off in frustration. So yeah, MJF is tired and annoyed. He hasn't wrestled this much in ages, but yeah, 100 rated segment. It's MJF, it's gold. We love it. But the main event is coming up now, the main event match, but not the final segment of the night, because we have a special face-to-face to end the show. But in our main event, a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, 82, woo! The Best Friends win against the Young Bucks and the New Wave. Trent Beretta pins Swerve Strickland with a strong 0. Wow, the Best Friends. Who would have thought that? I thought they were just an accessory in this match, but no, they got the win. And the reason why they got the win is because of the heat between the Bucks and the New Wave. They were so focused on each other, they completely forgot that the Best Friends were even there, so they could take advantage and secure their place at All Out. So for the AEW Tag Team Championships, it's going to be the Lucha Brothers defending against FTR, Andrade and Rush, and the Best Friends, Chucky T and Trent Beretta. The Young Bucks kind of screwed themselves over here, focusing too much on Ricky and Swerve, and the same way with Ricky and Swerve focusing too much on the Bucks. Nonetheless, though, they put in some great performances. Nick, especially with an 82. All of this chemistry, love that. Got the crowd buzzing. 82 as well. Awesome. I think that's our best tag match of the series so far. We're getting great numbers now. It just took a few months. Now we're getting them. But following this, though, we have our face-to-face. Sting has finally managed to get Darby Allin in the ring so that they can talk, or more importantly, so that Sting can convince Darby to face him at AEW All Out. And they talk for a while, they have a back and forth. Darby says, you know, you were always trying to outshadow me. Like, I'm the main eventer. I'm the one that was facing MJF. But you had to have a match against him. You had to get involved. You had to speak for me. He's like, I've got my own voice. I can do it myself. Like, I respect and I appreciate everything you've done for me, Sting. But, like, your time is gone. Your time was 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Like, this is my time. And I don't need you anymore. And Sting just comes back and says, that's not what this was. Like, you need to listen, you need to understand, you're not ready yet. You're still, you know, wet behind the ears. And the disrespect, that you've shown is unacceptable. And if, you know, MJF isn't going to put you in his place, in your place, or he did, then I'm going to have to. Like, I know that we're friends and we're equals, but I'm your elder. I have more experience, and it's time to show you what that experience does. So Alan says, you know what, Sting, you want this match. We'll have it. However, I want to add my own stipulation to this match. And Sting kind of just stands in and just is like, anything, I'll do anything. Also, bat in hand, Sting's ready to go. And Darby Allin, skateboard in hand, ready to go. Darby says, if I beat you, Sting, then for the sake of yourself and everyone else watching, you retire from professional wrestling. And that's not just retire from wrestling in AEW, you give it up altogether. And Sting looks around at the crowd. He's kind of looking around, gauging their reaction. The crowd are like, no, no, no. And Sting slowly lifts the mic to his face, takes a few steps, gets right up close to Darby Allin, almost touching nose. He says, I accept. I'll see you at All Out. So it is confirmed. Sting, Darby Allin. If Darby Allin wins and Sting loses, Sting has to retire from professional wrestling. Oh, I got some goosebumps just then. So yeah, this is one hell of a grudge match, which is, to be honest, building since day one of my save. I believe the Darby Allin was number one contender pretty much day one, day two of our series. Sting's been there since day one, getting involved as well. So yeah, this has been building and escalating, and unfortunately it's become this. So yeah, who's your money on? I mean, you've got the experience of Sting. Obviously Darby Allin is a huge talent, and he's got so many, things up on Sting. He's faster, he's quicker, he's got the stamina, he's got a lot more things going for him, but you can't buy experience, and Sting's got buckets of that, and he's come close before. I mean, he almost beat MJF last time they faced, so, and MJF's been on one hell of a run, except for the Bandito match. We'll ignore that. But yeah, that ends our show. Let's see how we did. 85. Woo! This is our joint highest show. How? Actually, no, I can kind of see how. There was a rough opening, but great match, great segment, okay match, great segment, great match, great segment. Yeah, awesome. I didn't think this would be the one that would be the decent one, but we move on. So yeah, let's just quickly recap what's happened in this show that matters. Daniel Garcia versus MJF next week at Collision for the AEW World title. God, it'll be next week, so it'll be 2 weeks before All Out. So our main event of All Out, the AEW World Championship, could change drastically to Daniel Garcia and Paige. Who knows? Samoa Joe giving his reasons for attacking Rami. I'm sure this isn't the end of Rami and Joe. We'll have to see what Rami says or does next week. Kenny Omega just, letting some steam off, and rightly so. He's clearly still got eyes for the new wave, as do the Young Bucks, because it kind of cost them a World Tag Team title opportunity. Best friends taking advantage, the smart little boys, and they are in that match. CM Punk and Jay White, something's bubbling there. Jay White's got a plan of some sort. We're going to have to wait to see what that purpose is Jay White has in mind. But Punk doesn't care right now. Punk's new purpose, I guess, is beating the fuck out of Jay White. Yeah, and then Sting, Darby Allin confirmed. And if Sting loses, he will retire from professional wrestling. All Out is building up to be one hell of a show. But yeah, that's in the future. We'll stick to the now, as I say way too often. But that does wrap up this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and reactions to the announced shows and the things happening. Let me know your prediction for MJF Daniel Garcia. What do you think is going to happen? And yeah, please like, subscribe, comment, share, do it all. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Yeah.